Good evening, everybody. I am getting reacquainted with XCOM 2. I wasn't actually expecting to do this, but I had a couple reasons for wanting to do it. Let me just bring the game up. Um, I'm very, very fond of the XCOM series, and weirdly enough, I have I've played and completed XCOM Enemy Unknown / Enemy Within. In actually, the funny thing is, the very first time I did that was actually on stream. I think I'm competing with I thought I had the volume set, but that may be different for the intro. We'll see. And yes, this is War of the Chosen. Okay, I mean, that level doesn't seem too bad. Hello, is it? I've got Amy Rika 245th of their name. But yeah, so I feel like I should at least give a slight justification for the choice here. So, finished Enemy Within. I've also done, what was it? Chimera Squad, which I rather liked. And I made there's a fair distance in terms of XCOM 2 and War of the Chosen, but stuff kind of got in the way, and so I never ultimately finished the game. So, as it happens, I do in fact have a save from 2018 on this, but I figure that it's been long enough. I should probably go back to, go and start from the very beginning and get kind of reacquainted with the game. The only drawback is that I used to have a nice big character pool of viewers and people who I'd known, and unfortunately all of those are now gone. So at some point I can probably rebuild it, but it doesn't seem like the right choice at the very start. So we'll do a new game, and I don't know. The tricky part for me is that, I mean, maybe once upon a time I might have tried Commander, but I have a feeling I'm gonna have a challenge with Veteran. I don't feel I have it in me to go for Rookie. Sure, we'll do the tutorial again. Let's see here. Reaper. Oh, right. Lengthy scheme. I'm fine with this. I will say there is one sort of, one sort of quote-unquote cheat that I'm going to be doing inside of this, and that is in the case of the game, I mean, this is kind of, I guess, approved in game with the status of the commander. I don't know if I quite have the time or the heart to completely restart a run all over again. So I think the idea here is that I might, I'll allow myself to sort of reload inside of a mission. I'll maybe try not to completely ruin the experience for myself by like saving and reloading on the thank you, Amy Rika. But yeah, sorry, I'm taking forever to get started on this. But yeah, so the main idea here will be, I want there to be at least something resembling consequence inside of this, but on the other hand, I also know that I'm probably going to have enough of a hard time keeping my squad alive that I will definitely reserve the option to reload and try again. So there's basically going to be an upward trend in terms of the actions inside of the game. But the decision in terms of the costs for, in terms of the playthrough will be, if I lose a character, but I've made more progress in the mission, then the question is, am I going to sort of reload the mission and have to accomplish the thing again? Or am I going to, accept the loss and progress through the story? And again, I mean, it's in this case here, I'm hoping that as I learn from my mistakes through reloading, I just have to do the reloading less. But definitely, I know I'm definitely going to be running into challenges as I get started again. So, or the Chosen, enable Lost and Abandoned. Yes, integrated down. Oh, interesting. So I can't mess with this anyway. Updates integrates XCOM 2 downloadable content into War of the Chosen expansion. Enable this integration for balanced gameplay experience, which includes downloadable content features. Disabling this option will restore the downloader. No. Let's keep it simple.
Accessing the feed now. We're in. But I don't know for how long. You seeing this? Way too much security, even for Advent.
That's no ordinary gene therapy clinic. They were telling the truth.
Or they're leading us into a trap. A really obvious trap. We'd need an army to march in there right now.
I've got a better idea. Outrider, this is Central. Go.
Timeline you placed upon us, mistakes are bound to happen.
It wasn't our fault. Please!
There's no need for any of this. I will do what you ask of me. I just need additional time. Did you say something? You're one of those? You must understand, I had no choice.
Outrider, report.
So, you do exist. Outrider to Avenger, I have visual confirmation.
Are you sure?
Reapers are always sure.
I'll take your word for it. Cover your tracks and get the hell out of there. They can't know we were here. Yet.
Understood. Now the real war begins.
Excitement continues to build as city centers across the globe prepare for the 20th anniversary of Unification Day.
Thousands line up at the site of the Great Accord, celebrating the formation of the Advent Coalition.
Keeping with their promise to humanity, 12 new gene therapy clinics will be opening in select cities by the end of the new year.
Despite the attempted attack by fringe elements, operations at the new facility in Paris thankfully remain unaffected.
In response to the unprovoked intrusion on the eve of our most beloved celebration, the speaker reaches out to us.
A small number of dissidents again repeat the mistakes of the old world.
Striking as we celebrate a benevolent savior who time and again offers only friendship and compassion.
Yet these trivial actions could never break the bond between humanity and the Elders.
Peacekeeping forces have already made several preemptive arrests of known collaborators. Advent again assures all citizens that today's celebrations will continue as planned.
Perfect.
The Advent administration reminds you to report all suspicious activity to your nearest peacekeeper. Remember, only together can we build a better tomorrow.
Approaching position. You were right. They've definitely got their hands full today.
Stay focused. Prep gatecrasher.
60 seconds. Now.
Signal received. Loud and clear. Okay, Gatecrasher. Your turn.
Advent forces are swarming to the blast point. We need to move on the package before they figure out what we're up to. First things first. You need to get out of sight. Grab some cover near that low wall.
Copy that. Moving up.
I will share, it is actually kind of fun to see this. God, actually, I'm really happy that I'm I'm back into this. One of the things that's really funny about this is to see in the context of the War of the Chosen expansion. You know, they introduce the Reapers. They give you a little bit of a precursor to this mission, sort of identifying where the commander is before committing the team to the mission. But it is very funny because you see Shen's daughter, or Shen, in the lead up. But of course, in the tutorial, they shade her out because, you know, why would you change it? But it is kind of funny how they have a bit of, you know, the fun with the mysterious reveal, which of course is going to be, you know, it's already confirmed. The unit flag shows the soldiers' health and actions remaining. Soldiers get 2 actions per turn. Osei now has 1 action remaining.
In position, but I'm exposed here.
It's better than nothing, but see if you can't find a safer position further out.
Looks like full cover ahead. Moving out.
Units in cover gain a defense bonus. Low cover provides moderate defense. High cover provides excellent defense. Always try to end your move in cover. And this is one thing that I think I kind of failed
Crasher
to...
2, stay close. Keep pace with Crasher 1.
K-Money, good to see you. Yeah, I wasn't actually originally planning on doing this, but the funny thing is, and actually let me just take a quick second here to shout out K-Money at the start. You know things about this game. Do tell. So yeah, I love this game. I remember playing it on release, but the funny thing is that while I am a huge fan of the XCOM games, I've played Enemy Within to completion, actually did that on stream, and I played Chimera Squad on launch, also to completion. And yet, while I thoroughly enjoyed XCOM 2 and War of the Chosen, I've never actually played it to the very end. And in fact, I noticed that the last stream save I have is from 2018, for crying out loud. So this is why I'm going all the way back from Gatecrasher. I fully intend to finish XCOM 2 this time. I am going to be playing sort of a lore-appropriate commander, by which I mean... it's absolutely... I remember just being I was so into War of the Chosen. It completely transformed it for me. But yeah, I'm going to be a lower appropriate commander. And while I do like the idea of consequence, I am probably just going to have an upward trajectory in terms of the playthrough. Like in this case here, like the decision in terms of losing a squad member will essentially be, did I accomplish something in a mission and I'm willing to accept those losses, or do I reload? So if it effectively removes the loss of a mission from the options here, but that's just mostly because I don't think I can really handle like completely restarting from the beginning. But I will try not to completely ruin the experience doing that one. When we say the OG, actually I can never remember. So I know there was one called UFO Defense, but I feel like it was also called Enemy Unknown,
We're gonna have to go through them. Stay out of sight until we're ready to strike.
Copy that.
But yeah, anyways, as I was...
Keep to the shadows until you're absolutely set. We'll only get one shot at this.
In the shadows.
As I was saying before, the way this is introduced, like I think anybody who's played any XCOM game, and actually same... Gotcha. Right. I'll actually say too, like so this is like the worst comparison to be impressed by, but one thing I actually really like is how the introduction, like the opening cinematic for the new XCOM is actually really similar to the original one for, as you say, the OG one. Although it's maybe not so obvious at the very beginning, but I kind of watched them side by side. And I'm like, oh, actually, this fits like really well. But I still, it's one of these things where like I have a tremendous respect for the original games while also simultaneously realizing why we have not adopted the convention of like killing a character from a completely unknown part of the map the second they walk off of the plane. But yeah, sorry, the one thing I was going to say that I probably didn't appreciate, so any XCOM game that you've played, obviously being out in the open is a really good way to lose your soldiers. But I think one of the things I sort of failed to appreciate when the game says sort of it offers you moderate cover, like one of the things I've really learned is that basically treat high cover as the only cover, and moderate cover is it's all that you are buying is a chance you may survive. Like out in the open, no chance. Behind moderate cover, you're probably gonna die, but there's a chance you might not. Is kind of the way that I've learned to take that. Which will probably have its own consequences for strategy. But most missions start with the squad in concealment. Use concealment to set up ambushes. If any of your soldiers are spotted, all of your soldiers lose the benefit of concealment. Enemies are not aware of your soldiers while you are concealed. Use concealment to advance and set up ambushes.
Staying low.
Also, did the European Union exist when the original XCOM
Don't get
came?
too close. They'll be spotted for sure and we'll lose our advantage.
Nearby enemies will spot a soldier that moves too close to them. These tiles are marked with a red highlight.
They may have the numbers, but we've got surprise on our side. Hopefully that's enough.
Remind me to thank the old man.
You and me both.
Actually, did you read...
We're not out of the woods yet. We need to take out those remaining soldiers.
I've got the trap on them. Permission to engage.
Do it.
Did you read Sid Meier's memoir by any chance, K-Money? I really enjoyed it. And I'm trying to remember if XCOM came up in that one. But I heard a rumor, maybe this was on one of the podcasts, but apparently XCOM was supposed to be canceled at some point, but nobody told Microprose that, or whoever had bought Microprose, that they were still working on it, and then they had a gap in their release schedule. They're sort of like, oh yeah, so this thing you thought was canceled, it's like ready to go. So I don't know if that's from. I really don't know if that's from Sid Meier's memoir or not. But I definitely, if you've not read Sid Meier's memoir, definitely, whether you listen on audiobook or whether you, you prefer the printed pages, I had to read it right away, so I got mine on Apple Books. But strong recommendation for sure. All right. I think it's probably automatically gonna take any shot, but
Crasher 1 is on the board.
the entire squad loses concealment when any soldier attacks an enemy, breaking windows or kicking open doors. A soldier is flanked or steps on a detection tile.
They can see you now. How about you all shoot first and celebrate later? No problem. I appreciate the bravery, but you're dangerously close right now. Be careful. You're still keeping score, right?
Not going out that easy.
Tell my kids
No! Crasher 2 is down! She's gone!
Damn it! You can't take risks like that. Watch your flanks.
So that's how you want to play it. Okay.
Isn't there an option to show? Yeah, if you hit Alt. Maneuver to flank enemy units so you can hit them from vulnerable angles. Cover does not protect a unit from the side.
Nice work. Press the advantage before they get around you.
Let's see how you like this. The club.
She's calling reinforcements. Stop that. Transmission.
Central, reporting in.
You're late. What have you been doing down there?
Taking in the sights.
Hell are these things?
They're us. At least there used to be. Human hybrid soldiers. Advent's reward for obedience and service.
We've all heard rumors. I just never believed it was true.
No one wanted to. But we find what we're looking for today. I promise you that's gonna change. Let's move.
Looks like that transmission went through. You have an Advent transport closing on your position.
You heard her. Cover the left side.
I'm on it.
Keep your eyes peeled. Fire on anything that moves.
Soldiers in Overwatch will shoot the first enemy they see moving. Activate Overwatch now to prepare for the reinforcements.
The main entrance is clear. We need to move on the package. Menace 3, you're up.
Hold up. You should check that body for salvageable gear. We need anything we can get at this point. Better move fast, though. I've heard rumors Advent rigs their stuff to self-destruct.
Soldiers automatically collect dropped items when they end a move inside a yellow loot radius. Have a good one, K-Money. And for those of you who didn't hear it before, please do check out K-Money's channel. He's a game designer.
Now I know we're in the right place.
Plays games for fun, as well as studies them for combat design.
Well done. Fall back to our position.
Just go. I'll try to stall him here.
See, it wants me to fire, but wouldn't the stall be Overwatch?
What the?
I'm going for the door. You should be able to cut right through the door's security protocols. They were never expecting anyone to get this close.
All soldiers can hack certain computers, lock doors, and some other objects to gain access and temporary bonuses. I mean, these are equally unlikely.
We're in.
Good. Let's go.
Moving to secure the package.
Let's hope our intel was good.
This is the place.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Looks like there's an access panel attached. If you got me a better look, I might be able to...
Next time. Let's get out of here.
Soldiers can carry unconscious, dead, and bleeding out units. This allows a soldier to revive a fallen comrade.
The entire Advent security grid just lit up. Firebrand is holding nearby for evac, but it's now or never, Central.
Understood. We're on the move. Tell my kids
No! Central, Crasher 1 is down. You have to get out of there.
We need another exit. Now!
Looks like I get my own seat on the Firebird.
Got it covered.
Grenades are not as lethal as firearms, but can damage multiple units and destroy cover and walls.
Fire in the hole.
Works for me. Almost there. Stay focused.
They're right behind us. Way too close.
This looks a little ugly. Firebrand, this is Gatecrasher. We need an immediate evac. Get us out of here.
Press P to place the evac zone here. Call the Sky Ranger icon or press P to place an evac zone. Select the target area and confirm placement with the left mouse button.
Keep moving.
You don't need to tell me twice.
We're coming home.
A unit standing within the evac zone can activate the evac ability to safely extract from combat.
There's potentially decades of atrophy to contend with.
Wish we had more time.
I don't
see
disagree.
Algren's.
But as it stands now, we risk losing the patient if we don't begin the removal procedure immediately.
We're ready.
Good. Then let's get on with it.
Remarkable.
Just like 20 years ago. We were still calling it a war back then. We had no idea what was coming.
Response from the cerebral cortex. Good. Prepping for cranial intrusion. I've managed to identify the connection. Preparing to make final incision.
These readings are getting really erratic.
Of course they are. These implants were never designed to be removed. We are risking severe...
No plan B here, people. Do it.
Pupillary response normal. Vital stabilizing. Procedure complete.
Told them it would take more than that to keep you down. Welcome back, Commander. Glad to see you're finally coming out of it. Don't envy the headache you must have, though. Still, can't fault Dr. Tygan. Especially as no one's even attempted something like this before. Easy. We're still not entirely sure what they did to you. That chip was buried halfway into your skull. Lost a lot of good soldiers looking for you over the years. Almost gave up hope you were still out there. Acted on the intel as soon as I got word. Not sure what you remember, but a lot's changed. Did the best I could, but the last 20 years have been tough without you. You feel like catching up. Shen has the archive up and running on your terminal. Otherwise, I'd go see Dr. Tygan when you're ready. There's some things you should know. He'll be better at explaining them than me. It's damn good to have you back, Commander.
But yeah, I actually have quite a bit of sympathy for that view, Algren. So the rule
Commander, to the research labs.
The rule that I sort of set for myself here was that this isn't like, I mean, so most of my gaming time now is basically stream time. But I also know, for the most part, it takes me longer to get through games than I would like, and in the best of times. And so, in the case of... Oh, my bad.
Impressive, isn't it? Capable of generating immense power, yet completely harmless to human life. If only the same could be said for the rest of the aliens' technology, Commander. Dr. Richard Teigen, Chief Science Officer. I am responsible for the entirety of our research here, as well as the procedure you so recently underwent. Welcome to my lab, such as it is. I'm not sure what Central may have told you, but we found something while removing you from the alien stasis suit. A device implanted directly in your occipital lobe. Had I access to the equipment available to me during my tenure at Advent, I would already know the precise nature of its function. However, given time and your approval, of course, Commander, I assure you, I will find out. Which brings to light an additional point. Though aspects of this facility are indeed impressive, I am but one man. Were you to direct additional support personnel and resources to me, I could substantially improve the speed of all our research. Farewell, Commander. On your order, Commander. I will begin researching the Advent chip for possible insights as to its function.
But yeah, to your point there, Algren. So essentially, what I've said for myself is that I'm not going to shy away from reloading, and what that effectively does is that kind of eliminates the possibility of losing missions. But it does mean that if I've gone really far on a mission and I lose a unit, then I essentially have to decide whether or not that loss is worth like the reload. That loss is worth pushing through, or if I would really want to have to do all of that over again. So it's sort of, hello Vanguard, thank you. So I sort of figured that you do there's a balance in terms of both pressures. One is it allows me to sort of have this forward movement in terms of the game, but because I'm trying to optimize on time, such as it is, obviously I chat quite a bit. But because I'm trying to conserve, or trying to reduce, the amount of redundancy, particularly in terms of doing the opening all over again if I get a loss, the idea here would be that if I, suffer the loss of a major character right at the end of a mission, I'm probably unlikely to want to go all the way to the start again. But yeah, and we say saves come so hard. Like the idea of seeded random numbers is there specifically to stop people from ruining the game for themselves. And, I've always taken it. So I always took it as two things. Like, I'm assuming the setting for XCOM 2 was based off of, the telemetry for the first XCOM game in terms of how much the game just crushed, most players. But I always sort of took the idea of the captured commander and sort of the images that you get and what was suggested in terms of what was happening to the commander is that, he is going through all the different iterations of the battle, which is, I think, as close as you can get to a sort of in-game answer for why there is saving and reloading. Yeah, I don't know. Like the one thing I will actually say on the seeded number thing, I've said this before, and I don't mean to get too philosophical. Like, I have gotten as angry as anyone else over, certain probabilities and things like that. And I can remember specifically being really annoyed with the idea of seeing like, a 20% thing happen, 5 or 6 times in a row, and there's like, I think this might be the gambler's fallacy, but anyways, so there's like a reasonably well-known mistake in probability, right? Which is to say, okay, I'm tossing a coin, heads or tails, I've had 5 tails in a row. So I think it's reasonably well known for all the Firaxis games that they do actually mess around with the stated probabilities to make them more in line with player expectations. But where I was going with this is it's not about that. Yeah, it's what Algrins is saying here, is that this idea of the sequential probability, right? So you've got 5 sequential, 5 sequential tails. So, you sort of feel like you're owed the heads. or what you will, usually what you do, because you have like stuff like Wolfram Alpha or Senpai or what, I mean, Senpai, I guess you kind of need to know the formula. But like the problem that you run into there, right, is that, you do it, you call it heads, and it turns out to be tails, and you're like, this is ridiculous. Like, how unlikely is it that, you get six tails in a row, and you go and you look at the probability of that, and you see that it is a remarkably small probability. And of course, the trick here is that you already are living in the world in which you had the 5 tails. The probability of the 6th one was 50%, just like any other coin toss. Although in reality, chances are if you see 5 coin tosses and it gives you the same result, in reality, you're probably going to wonder, like, is this a fair coin, and so on and so forth. Obviously, the construction of this example is it kind of assumes that there's no tricks, but in the real world, there's all sorts of like weirdness that can happen. But the thing is that people aren't entirely wrong to feel like the tricky part here is that it's actually, I just think, the problem that people run into is there's that incomplete picture of what's happening, because any single probability or like any single event is actually going to be quite unlikely, right? And if you've ever done like a stats or probability course, if you're dealing with continuous probability, no single event actually has any probability. What you do is you define that over a range of values, even if it's like vanishingly small, right? And when I say continuous probability, I mean like between 0 and 1, right? With all the, infinite repeating decimals, well, infinite or non-infinite, right? Basically, you're looking for some continuous range, and in that case, there's no one number for which the probability is defined, but you can define it with like this just vanishingly small range. So like 0.999999, repeating, and then and 1.0 some arbitrarily large number of zeros and a 1. You can define a probability for that, but any single number on those does not have a probability. If it's discrete, though, you can define it for the 1 number. So like the easy example here would be the 1 and 6. So I don't actually necessarily think it's the gambler's... Well, okay, so obviously for some people there's the gambler's fallacy going on there, but I think the one challenge is that I think the source of people's frustration actually comes from the seeded random numbers. So this goes all the way back to at least Civilization, and I'm sure there are others, but at least Sid Meier has been really clear in terms of why he used seeded random numbers in Civilization. And it was basically because you would have players, you have a save feature, you have a reload feature, and what would happen is that players would go and they would, they'd take their actions, and every single time that they had something that didn't go their way, they would reload. So again, you wind up in a situation where you're not dealing with probability, or you're not dealing with, a quote-unquote fair game. What you're dealing with is a game where you absolutely cannot lose under any circumstances, but conditional on whenever something happens that doesn't go your way, you go through the motions of reloading the game until you get a result that you're looking for. And of course, that's not the way it's supposed to go, right? If you have a 1 in 3 chance, then in theory, you do that combat 3 times, you're going to win 2 of them, but you're going to feel really, really mad about that one third. And of course, I mean, there's actually a wonderful GDC talk that Sid Meier gave on this, and it's like, you can win the like 1 in 6 chance, and you feel entitled to that win, even though there was like no reasonable expectation that you would get it. How you doing, Revive Snow? On that note, let me shout out another wonderful broadcaster. I'm curious, Revive Snow, have you ever played the XCOM games. I don't think I've ever seen you do them on your stream, but I was watching Revive Snow play Space Marine 2. You're actually, I was going to say, out of all the things that you've tempted me on with Dare Drop, I don't know if Space Marine 2 is still active on it, but there is like totally a side of me that that wants to try that. I was really enjoying watching Revive Snow, you know, battle Xenos for the Emperor. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I'm babbling on. I am going to try and attempt to explain it. So I think the thing that, so anyway, so you know, Sid Meier, you know, quite rightly in my opinion, imposed these seeded random numbers so that if you would save and reload the game, what you would see is you would, you know, you could reload, but if you saved and reloaded immediately before the attack, you're going to get the exact same result. So effectively all your die rolls or all of your, you know, your random draws have been determined at the very, you know, origin of the game. Now, there's one way you can get around that, and you people are out of control. One way you can get around that, of course, would be if you have multiple units that can take actions, what you could do is you can get another unit to sort of eat the bad roll and then, you know, let your next unit do it. But in general, right, the idea here is that you have the same outcomes sort of baked into your game. But what this leads to is this really weird situation where you'll clearly have players, and I'm one of these players, who reloads the game. And when you see something like that, you know, you save and reload the game, and you see this vanishingly small event happen, you know, a very large number of times, and sometimes this is going to be over, you know, multiple, sometimes it's going to be over, you know, multiple missions or whatever, but very often what's going to be happening is it's going to be over the course of saving and reloading, and you are going to feel like this game is just completely ridiculous, like it's out to get you. And I mean, like, I'm sympathetic to the designer in this case, right? Because they designed an experience to be played start to finish, and that you're the one who's sort of mucking around with the probabilities and you know, your own experience of those. And, you know, but I mean, the thing is that it's really hard to explain, sort of the seeded random numbers. Have you two ever thought of going into marketing by any chance? And for those of you who just want to see some soldiers die, I will be jumping into that in just a minute. But the best example that I ever saw, it's funny, like I never really had a clear way of trying to explain this. And again, part of that is just explaining my own frustration when playing games like this. But the weirdest circumstance under which I finally found a way to sort of explain it was, some of you may remember when I was playing Darkest Dungeon, there was a viewer who every time they came in, like, they had this big rant about how it cheated on random numbers. Like, to a point where I just wanted to ask them, like, I'm not gonna, like, ruin the fun of Darkest Dungeon by, you know, like, defending Milady in front of, you know, like, most of the people in the chat are there to enjoy the game. They're having a good time. If one person, like, wants to just get his, you know, his bile out on Red Hook Studios, whatever, like, it's not like I work for them, right? I'm not going to share the opinion. But I did eventually want to say to him, it's like, are you trying to convince me, like, I don't like this game? Because it's not going to work, right? Like, I really do like this game. But what I found out was they said that they, quote unquote, tested the probability of the game, and it was completely unlike what was listed. And, like, I didn't really think of it much at the time, right? Because, you know, obviously, if you like a game enough, people are maniacs. Like, they will actually sit down and record every outcome in the... Well, you know, this is the funny thing for me. Like, where I can, I try to be like, I don't know, I like stuff. Like in general, I like even games that people don't like that much. I just generally enjoy a lot of the games that I play. And where I can, I just feel it's nice to be able to try and communicate, you know, if it's not for you, at the very least explain where it lost you, as opposed to just be, meh, this did not satisfy me. And like, that's fine for people to do. You know, everyone can be the comic book guy from Simpsons if they want. Sorry for the dated reference. But like, you know, I learn more if I think about why I'm responding a certain way. And particularly because, you know, we're spoiled for choice in terms of quality games. So chances are someone somewhere recommended the thing to me. And I kind of want to understand why this thing that someone really enjoys didn't hit for me. And there's lots of, you know, there's definitely lots of different ways in which that can happen. Yeah, this whole like quote unquote research thing, it actually was not research on Google. What it was, I eventually figured this out, and because I knew the guy a little bit. But what happened was, I'm near certain that they got an outcome they didn't like in Darkest Dungeon 2. They you know, basically crashed out of the game every time they got the result that they didn't like. And that's fine, because like Darkest Dungeon will just save at certain points. So if the power goes out, you're probably going to rewind a little bit in your combat. But again, because this guy didn't necessarily appreciate the idea of a seeded random number, what he sees is a 20% chance event happen consistently. You know, 20%, it works 20% of the time, 100% of the time, or whatever the joke is. So, Aranildi 2, sorry, I probably butchered the pronunciation of that. XCOM 2 actually had its RNG actually tested, and without the cheats, it gives in favor of the player at difficulty lower than Legend. It's actually very fair and evenly spread. It's funny, I think I may have seen a Reddit thread on this, and I know that someone did so I didn't see any kind of correction, and I'll also be clear, I actually don't know what the cheats are. But I did see somebody sort of had this like plot of sort of stated probabilities and number of times it works, which is kind of how I would do that. And yeah, it's exactly as you say, like it basically went exactly along the line. So I'm assuming in this case, again, because I don't know the cheats, they probably did do the correction and I just didn't know any better. But yeah, if just so I don't sound like I'm not even out of the tutorial yet, so I'm definitely not complaining about the probability yet. But this is definitely trying to at least get some sense in terms of the perceptions and where the complaints come from. But that's actually kind of here to that's kind of cool to hear that it's actually in line. It says you get a miss streak that goes up and up until you hit a shot. It's invisible without mods. Oh, I get it. So like the idea here is that, you know, let's say it's 50-50 chance. I hit there's like 3 that I miss. The idea here is that it weights the probability closer to me hitting the shot, so it doesn't feel like I'm that like one poor guy who just, you know, like 4 coin tosses against you is unlucky, but not like defying the laws of physics. Yeah, well, I benefit from this though, because I am not good at positioning in the game. Oh, fair enough. Okay. But yeah, in any case, it's like, this is the thing. This is for those of you that like this stuff, by the way. Like I'm kind of I'm riffing off of some of the stuff that came up in completely different games. Although I think it's fair to say that Darkest Dungeon definitely had an influence on some of the stuff that was implemented in War of the Chosen. But for those of you that are interested in this stuff, if you haven't seen the Sid Meier GDC talk, I actually think he does a really good job of describing some of the psychology behind it and why, at least in his case, the games that he works on do actually play around a little bit with what the real numbers are. And I fully understand why there will always be a group of people who really does not like that approach. But I also really like Firaxis games and Sid Meier games, so I'm probably not in that group. All right. We have earned our right to research alien biotech. Having successfully conducted the traumatic procedure required to remove the chip implanted by Advent, we now have the opportunity to study the inner workings of the device to gain better understanding of their motivations.
I'll see that work begins immediately, Commander. I'll contact you when I have a full report available.
That research will keep Tigan busy for a while. In the meantime, you might want to head down to the armory.
Commander, Jane Kelly was instrumental in the op to get you back. She earned enough experience for a promotion. We should take care of that now. The Ranger serves as our primary reconnaissance unit, capable of moving independently in concealment while engaging enemies at close range.
At some point, I should do viewers as soldiers because I lost all of the custom characters. All right, Squatty Jane Kelly. New ability / attack any enemy within movement range with your sword.
We're off to a good start. Our troops will only get stronger as they gain experience.
I heard you, Shen. When we get the thing, you'll be the first to know.
Attention. Unauthorized presence detected.
Commander, give me a second. Execute Echelon Protocol.
Attention. Senior Command Exchange confirmed.
I had wanted that to be a little more ceremonious, but we've got something. A local resistance cell just located this hybrid magnetic power converter that Shen's been pushing us to find. They tracked the device to a nearby Advent convoy and are attempting to take it down. If we can bring this converter back in one piece, we might actually get this place up and running and give the aliens a real war for a change. The squad is prepped and ready to launch on your order, Commander. Just give the word.
All right. Recover the power converters from Tashi Station. I don't think we have any options here, so we'll just launch.
Communications with resistance forces in the area have gone dark, which can only mean one thing. These people sacrificed everything to give us this shot. We need to recover that converter at all costs.
Operation Earthly Cavern. Recover the Advent power converter. Objective: neutralize all enemy targets. Recover the Advent power converter over the wilderness of New India. Use grenades to shred or remove the armor of tough enemies before the rest of your squad engages them.
Commander, getting a fix on the device, but it looks like it may have been damaged during the fight. Energy readings are going crazy. I'm guessing we don't have much time before it explodes. Shen's working on a way to stabilize that thing, provided we can get close enough to access its core. Stay in the shadows until we can get a better read on the situation.
So, I think in normal circumstances it would be, like, incredibly dangerous to run forward like this. But you only YOLO once, so...
Location confirmed. Will do. Go, go, go.
Don't really like the options here, but...
Copy that.
Commander, we have a chance to do some serious damage here. Before jumping into combat, let's make sure we make the most of our advantage. The Advent officers seem more capable than the grunts. We're not sure whether to chalk it up to training or stricter mind control.
Before breaking concealment with an offensive action, consider putting squad mates into Overwatch in order to set up a deadly ambush. Okay, so we obviously saw the baddies running forward. Oh, that's nice that it... oh no, sorry, it's telling me they'll catch fire. I'm going to do something really dumb here, but I probably should learn whether or not this...
Hostile targets in sight. Objective located.
Okay, you should be able to hack into that thing's safety protocols and stabilize it. Shen is uploading the fix right now.
Okay. So I'm not exactly crazy about
Got it covered.
this cover, but... This one makes me a little more uncomfortable just because there's a chance someone catches me this way. But I don't want to be too far away from the fight either. Yeah, so I'm assuming they can walk straight forward and hit me here, so...
Got it.
Already there. Heading to that location.
I really do, yeah. I mean, one of the things, too, is because it's... one of the things I really love about it is it's the chance to, like, really show off the kind of the cinematic approach. Actually, speaking of GDC talks, I think it was Jake Solomon, one of the people responsible for the design of XCOM. I'm trying to decide if the heavy cover here is better or the higher position. I think I will settle for the height.
Heading out.
Orders confirmed. On the move.
All right. But apparently when they made the first XCOM remake or
Moving to Overwatch.
actually, I think I kind of have to force everyone but the Ranger into the Overwatch because
Roger. Got my
either
eyes on.
I go do the slice thing. I mean, presumably we go for the officer, right? But yeah, so apparently the very first version of XCOM that they did was actually a it was a cinematic, but it was a cinematic designed to look like what the game would look like. It's a really interesting approach, and you get to sort of see the iterations over it. Anyways, let's watch the magic.
Got him. We're busted.
These guys make up the bulk of the Advent forces we've dealt with. They're disciplined and well-equipped, but their obedience makes them predictable.
Enemy destroyed.
So obviously that's not so good for my smoking Frenchman.
Who's got a med kit? At least we know where they are. I'm taking fire.
Right. So the big question for me is, can I take out this this unit here? I don't have a lot of great shots. This doesn't really feel like it's protecting me from that much that I'm up against, so...
Rangers are uniquely equipped for close quarters combat. In the right situation, they can prove highly effective.
Now, one option I have... Oh, no, I can't... So, like, I like the idea of using the Ranger to guarantee a kill on this unit, but I kind of need to make sure that the commander's down. Here's the question. How far can I throw the grenade? Interesting.
Confirmed. Take this!
No, you fool!
Hostile neutralized.
So we don't know where the other baddies are. But I at least can try and make the most of the opportunity.
Roger that. Overwatch.
Heading to that location. Might be something interesting here.
Research time on the current tech reduced by 50%, or delays current dark event projects by 2 weeks. I mean, we don't have a current dark event. Oh, and here we were so close.
We're in. The gear is secure. Done. Readings are returning to normal. Well, mostly normal. Firebrand is en route, but I wouldn't take any chances. Eliminate all remaining hostiles in the area before evac.
Okay, so it did indicate that the scary sounds were on that side. Again, if I can get the high cover, I'd prefer it, but
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
I don't exactly want to be too much of a
Covering now.
baby about it either.
Although they bear some resemblance to the sectoids first encountered during the invasion, their genetic structure now includes human DNA. They are stronger than ever, with an even greater psionic potential.
No! Please, no!
I deserved that. You know, in fairness, there have been worse panics.
It's still moving. I'm pinned down here.
Okay, so I'm not crazy about that 46%. And the tricky part here is that this unit kind of counts as down, and I don't exactly want to be putting Jane Kelly on the board here. So that leaves me with someone without a grenade and not in a really great spot to do anything. Alright. YOLO. I'll take it.
Enemy eliminated.
Now again, if I can do something about this this baddie over here, I'm wondering if I can tempt them.
Moving to designated coordinates. On Overwatch. Scanning.
No respite for the dead. The aliens have found a way to mind control them now.
I forgot about that. So ideally what I have is some kind of a blue move that gives me the flank. This isn't exactly the safest, but I think as long as I commit the rest of my team, I can make this work. And I think this is where I pay for being too timid with my ranger. Yeah. .25% chance is not really worth it. A grenade would really help here. All right. I don't feel great doing this, but this is a lesson in grenade distances.
On my way. Get ready for a surprise.
Oh wait, he's got 4 though.
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Cool.
Advent officials revealed today's
Is it a
maneuver
risk if
by
I
local
save?
peacekeepers was a planned exercise. Citizens should not be alarmed. All weapon fire and wounds were simulated to better train Advent forces.
A few of our people earned well-deserved promotions, Commander. I'm guessing Shen will probably want to have a word with you, too.
Operation Earthy Cabin, recover the Advent power converter, and Squatty Kelly is seen better days. I will also say, hopefully by the end of the stream, I will have time to make at least one character out of all of you.
These items should prove useful in our ongoing efforts against the aliens. When you have a moment, Commander, I have made some interesting discoveries as they relate to the implant we removed from you earlier.
This is the power conversion device Chief Engineer Shen asked us to retrieve. It should allow us to get the Avengers systems back up to full capacity. One Advent officer corpse. Despite the heavier ornamentation on their battle armor, the bodies of Advent officers are indistinguishable from regular troopers save for the thick red scar on the back of their skulls. Advent Trooper Corpse, passable as human when hidden behind their armor. In death, the alien features and orange blood of the Advent Troopers reveal a more sinister pedigree. And a Sectoid Corpse, expired sectoids tend to shrivel and curl in on themselves like spiders, regaining some likeness to the smaller, more feral creatures that we faced in the First War.
Why are you all just standing around? It's perfect. Come on, let's get it inside. Okay, reworked your repulsors with some of the parts I salvaged from their old engine. Should fix that stabilization problem you had. Come on, Rover. It'll work. Commander! Getting our tech to talk to theirs is harder than you'd think. Lily Shen, Chief Engineer, at your service. You were probably expecting to see my father. In all that's happened, I'm guessing Central didn't tell you yet. He's gone. Dad gave everything he had to get us this far. This entire ship is his life's work. I know he would have loved to show you around the place himself. He used to talk about you a lot. You can be sure I'm ready to finish what he started. Might not look it, but from here, I can fabricate pretty much anything you come up with. And with a little more help, well, you'd be amazed with what I can do. It was an honor to finally meet you, Commander. I can't promise any miracles, Commander, but I should be able to put some of this stuff together in no time at all. I'd suggest we get started with a medkit. It'll probably come in handy sooner rather than later.
I should mention that, again, this is more rumors, but apparently the original plan for the first Firaxis XCOM was for Shen and Dr. Valen to be married. And there's like a little bit of that left. Like, so apparently this changed like during production, but after they had started sort of recording voice lines and building the or like making the the animations or the cinematics and such. So what this translates into, and so those of you that are big fans of the first one will probably know exactly what I'm talking about, but like at the very beginning of the game, it really feels like the science and engineering squads are like really bitchy with each other. So there's like, I'm pretty sure like Dr. Valen says something along the lines of, oh, it looks like the engineers managed to learn to turn their machines on. And like, originally it was just supposed to be like a married couple with their banter, but originally it's just sort of like, do these people dislike each other? Which is fair enough, right? That can be just a fun little bit of personality on its own, but apparently the origin for some of that and the fact that it's not consistent throughout the game is apparently due to the fact that they originally decided that they would be married, but that in the end they decided to just have them like independent. All right, the medkit contains a pressurized solution that, when exposed to air, acts as a sealant and insulator. Infused with painkillers and antiseptics, the medkit can treat wounds and remove a variety of adverse conditions, including burns and poison.
I'm on it, Commander.
Looks like Tygan has made progress on his research. We should meet him in the lab.
So much of my own research based upon this simple design. If only I had known. Ah, Commander, excellent timing. There's been some progress. I've managed to break down several key components of the chip implanted into your skull. My analysis reveals that its primary function was that of a conduit, passing a vast amount of data directly to your cerebral cortex. With the primary connection severed, much of that data is lost. Several fragments do remain, however. Ghosts, if you will. Observe. Tactical combat simulations. War games. The sheer volume of encounters you were processing was astounding. It is truly remarkable that you survived as long as you did. Though this may seem disconcerting, there is still some good news. This chip bears a striking resemblance to a medical implant I briefly assisted in developing at the gene therapy clinic in New Providence. My understanding was that the implants were intended for high-ranking Advent officers only, captains or above. Retrieving a chip from such an officer would be the only way to know for certain. A greater understanding of these implants would undoubtedly benefit us all, Commander.
New objective added.
Examine an Advent officer corpse. Complete the Advent officer autopsy research.
The Advent officers have clearly been modified to allow for their subordinates to receive new orders psionically. The implanted chip is the key.
Alien Biotech, codename Nano, 7th of March, 2035. With little time to prepare, we were forced to conduct an extremely invasive procedure on the commander in order to remove what appeared to be an implant carefully enmeshed within the occipital lobe. Although all indications were that the device was not designed for removal, concerns as to the commander's potential longevity and the risk of possible remote manipulation by the aliens left us with little alternative. Despite my concerns, the commander has so far felt no lasting effects from the procedure and appears to be recovering ahead of expectations. As for the chip itself, my initial findings are alarming, to say the least. The device is psionically driven by the latent energy of the subject's brain, in this case, the commander. More importantly, it appears the device functions as both transmitter and receiver, relaying information via some form of psionic link. Even after removal, I've had to shield the device to contain the residual psionic field surrounding the implant itself, for fear of what it might be capable of. If my current theory is correct, the commander may have played a more important role in Advent's operations than we could have possibly imagined. R. Tygan. Sorry, Alvin's just saw your message. Yeah, so this is, again, that little cinematic there, I always kind of took as the justification for the save and reload, but... Okay, so game's telling me I should do the Advent officer autopsy. Modular weapons gives me more shoot. I think I'm actually going to go for modular weapons.
I do find that area of research to be among the more intriguing options available. We'll begin work immediately. I'll send word when a complete report is available.
Looks like Shen got that converter up and running, Commander. We're ready for you on the bridge.
If you can give me a minute, I didn't go to the bathroom before I started, so I'm gonna take a bit of a break here. I will relieve myself, maybe make some tea, and then we will continue on with... I realize I'm like making really, really slow progress through the opening, but it's been a while, and I really do enjoy XCOM 2, so I will be back in a bit, but until then, please enjoy a rest, have a stretch, get some water, or just enjoy some fine advertisements for important products and services. See you in a little bit. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Or impatience, for those of you who are running away. Oops, sorry. I'm tied up on my cables. All right. I got some mint tea, so this is cozy XCOM. Frida Kraus.
Just like it sounds, our sharpshooters engage enemy targets with pinpoint accuracy from extreme range. They're also trained in pistol marksmanship for the occasional close encounter.
Squaddy Frida Kraus, sharpshooter, new ability Squad Sight. You can target enemies within squad mate sight, provided there is a line of sight to the target. Maria Buskirk, falling into stereotypes.
Operating some of our most advanced equipment, specialists deploy robotic drones on the battlefield that can be outfitted for combat or field medic duty.
Squaddy Maria Buskirk. Aid protocol. Command your gremlin to move to a friendly target. It grants that target a bonus to defense until the start of the next player turn. So I don't feel in the past that I took enough advantage of this, but I'm wondering if maybe in the future that I can use this to turn like low cover into high cover. And the idea here would be that I can use that to I can use that to get more options. Even though that previous mission was an easy mission, the aim was as much as possible to sort of stay behind high cover, which is easier said than done. So yeah, I'm wondering if maybe that's a way I can use defense. Finally, Igor Vinogradov.
Serving as our demolitions experts, the Grenadiers provide heavy ordnance delivery whenever and wherever we need it.
Squaddy Igor Vinogradov, Grenadier, launch grenade. The Grenadier uses a grenade launcher to fire grenades rather than throwing them. This allows for greater range and grenade capacity. And a bunch of rookies.
Just stay clear of the perimeter, understood?
Commander, good.
Think we got something here.
Despite all of Advent's efforts, there are still people who refuse to believe their lies. And it's time we let them know they're not alone. We've already located a target for our first operation.
Sir, given our current location, there's actually no way the Sky Ranger could reach that position.
Who said anything about the Sky Ranger? Shen, status report. Are we ready?
Short answer, yes. But you might all want to hold on to something.
Setting course for Sector 1, the Arctic.
We're ready to start making moves, Commander. By hitting Advent wherever we find them, we can help strengthen the Resistance. In return, they'll contribute material and personnel to support our operations.
We've acquired a new target for our guerrilla operations against Advent, Commander. New Arctic, Operation Tombhound. Neutralize a field commander, difficulty easy, reward Dr. Paul Martin, former Prime Minister of Canada, engineer.
Commander, it looks like Shen prepped a med kit for us. We should equip one of our soldiers with it before they deploy.
I can't say that the sniper will make the most of the med kit. I mean, maybe the technician, but... What a sorry looking girl. Everybody's got a bad attitude here. Alright.
Sky Ranger deployed.
The squad is ready to deploy on your order, Commander.
The Sky Ranger has reached the mission site, awaiting orders.
We've been given a prime opportunity to disrupt Advent's operations and delay their current plans. One of their field commanders has decided to tour the actual field, and we're going to make sure he never leaves there alive. Once you hit the ground, find our target and eliminate him as quickly as possible.
Operation Tombhound. Neutralize the Advent Field Commander. Objective, locate and neutralize Advent Field Commander. Do not allow the Field Commander to escape. Location, tunnels under Beijing, which... Geography was never my strong suit, but... Just how far down these tunnels have we gone?
Menace 1-5, we're tracking the Advent General and his escorts, but we don't have an exact fix on their location. Sweep the area and eliminate the target along with any other hostiles that stand in your way.
When left Alt is pressed, you'll be shown a preview of which enemies are visible at your current pathing location. Right. So banging open doors is not the smart move. So it seems to me like getting the sniper to open the door makes the most sense. I have like 100 arguments for both of these, and honestly, all the arguments suck.
Stepping off.
Okay. So I guess the next question is, do I commit to this side knowing that there might be something horrible waiting for me over here? It seems like the better option.
Running out.
Getting it done.
So obviously if somebody comes out this side and looks here, she's cooked, but...
Affirmative, moving out.
Good copy, moving on target. Move into designated position. Hostile targets in sight.
Ooh. Okay.
Getting it done.
Good to go.
There's a little something here in terms of high ground and such, but it really depends how these two move. All right then. I don't think I got a whole lot of options here.
Orders confirmed. Moving out. Moving to Overwatch.
Roger that. Scanning.
Yeah, not crazy about those odds. I don't know. I mean, we'll do the best with what we've got here, but...
Eyes on the prize.
Nailed him. We've been spotted.
Got him!
We're picking up an inbound Advent transport. The aliens are going to try and extract the general from the AO. Don't let them get on board that ship.
All right, so the question now is, who do I put in a whole bunch of danger to push forward? So, I mean, traditionally the sniper isn't the one who goes charging in.
On it! Got some Advent here!
Not ideal, but... I can see some of this working, though.
Understood. Moving out.
That's unfortunate. I mean, I can go crazy bold up front like this. He is just a rookie after all. See, I don't like the idea of sitting here just because I can see this unit moving, so here's what we're gonna do.
Understood. Moving out. Moving.
So it did occur to me that I don't need to use the expensive grenades. All of this is really about destroying cover.
Grenade!
So the question is, who has the better shot on the second Advent Trooper? Okay. You fool.
Enemy eliminated. Weapons burning ammo fast. That all you got? Eyes on the target. Target identity confirmed. That's the general. Take him out before they can escape. We won't get another shot at this. Advent forces on the ground.
All right. So this creates some problems for me. Just in terms of knowing what battles to pick. So Lewis Turner's in a better position to flank the target, so I think in this case here we'll go... This is too cowardly, so we want the flanks to
Good
count.
copy. Moving on target.
The big catch here is that
Target
we may not be able to do enough to the actual target to make it count. Now, one option I do have is the grenade. Which again forces me in some less than ideal. Well, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll get Lewis, who already has bad options in terms of placement.
Headed there now.
Okay, so that's looking promising.
Moving to designated position. Boom!
This is your chance for a promotion, rookie. You're fired.
Missed.
Moving out.
I hate this move, but... If anything, I gave him an escape hatch. Yep.
What's happening? I can give it a try.
Okay, so because
Bombs away.
this comrade wasn't stunned, we get to blow up his cover again. Let's give the rookie one more chance.
Moving. Advent troops.
Oh,
spotted.
crap. I've chosen poorly. He is just a rookie, though.
Menace 1-5, kill confirmed. That's how it's done. We need to clear the area of any remaining hostiles. We can't allow them to recover the General's body.
Target eliminated.
So, I guess one option I have is aid protocol. Oh, nope, disorientation doesn't let me do that. Second best Overwatch.
Missed the target.
Get out of my head!
Okay, I'm willing to take a couple risks on this.
Rolling. Negative ammo. I'm spent.
Moving.
I thought that said the alien was... Oh yeah, here we go. So a grenade more or less guarantees this for me. Do I want the squad to rely on a coin toss? But I don't think I can get the grenade. Yeah, you know what?
Could be something on this one. Good riddance.
We have confirmation. Mission accomplished.
Heroes of the New Arctic. Don't let them fight alone.
Another loyal citizen was taken from us this day by the radical elements who would poison our world's future. And still, the Elders offer their hand in friendship. This burden they bear for the sake of all humanity.
Alright, so Igor, most damage, Lewis Turner, most attacks. Lewis Turner, most misses, I'm sure. Most under fire, and move the furthest.
Let's hope they all go that smooth, Commander. Great work.
Alright, this is always a tough one. So I have been told, I am very old-fashioned in my beliefs about snipers. So I generally think that snipers are all about, you know, attacking at long range. And in fairness, like, I think the big idea for snipers in this game is that you take advantage of squad sight so that you're not under any threat. You know, you just kind of pick off enemies from the distance, which is where I would say, you know, long watch would be the argument. But return fire. So I am told that apparently there are these really astonishing, like, pistol-focused snipers that you can make in this game, and I've never really committed to the idea. But in this case here, we'll do long watch. You can't remove or change abilities. Are you sure you want to learn Long Watch? Yes. We can do Medical Protocol. The Gremlin can perform healing actions remotely. Gremlin Heal and Gremlin Stabilize. The Gremlin has a single charge. If a med kit is equipped, the Gremlin will gain an additional charge. Or Combat Protocol. Send the Gremlin to an enemy to jolt them, dealing guaranteed damage, which is increased against robotic enemies. So my general feeling here is a little bit like the weapons in the game. So I can absolutely see some benefits to having, you know, remote healing. In fact, a great example of this would be if you've ever played The Division 2 and you're up against those enemies with the drone healer, you can see exactly why, remote healing is such a pain to the enemy. But similarly to why I'd prioritize weapons over armor in this, using the combat protocol, especially with guaranteed damage, right? Imagining that situation with the sectoid where there was that coin toss on whether or not we would do the damage, being able to use something like the combat protocol, and particularly against robotic enemies, strikes me as one of these cases. Like, a dead enemy is going to do exactly 0 damage to you, so medical protocol strikes me as playing not to lose, and given the fact that, at least in... I probably remember the original XCOM a little bit better than XCOM 2, although I certainly have a fair amount of time in this, just it's not immediately in my memory. But I would say probably, if it's anything like the earlier one, the deck's kind of stacked against you. You, the human, are expected to be a bit more clever than the computer. So if you're struggling to maintain your current position, then chances are that's a losing formula. And so in this case, I would say, getting the enemy to a point where it can do 0 damage is preferable. Hello to Curiosity. So I do take a long time on making soldiers. But what I was going to do at the end of the stream, I was going to make sure that I had at least one person in chat that I can make a soldier for, and then just sort of over time. I do plan on finally. I've never actually played this game to the end. I've played plenty of time. I've played this game quite a bit, but it's been a long time since the last time I played it. And the one drawback is because I did upgrade my PC, and I sort of. How do I put it? It was from scratch. Like I bought a copy of Windows, did everything from the very beginning. So cleared off everything, and it turns out that the characters that I made were not preserved, and it's a shame because I actually had quite a few of them. So, anyways. Yeah, so I don't know about Archangel armor, and I would guess Plasma. I'm pretty sure Plasma is the same as the original game. And actually, Elgrins, I do it slightly differently. So I just add people into the pool, and then the game decides what you become. Okay, we've got blast padding. Your gear includes extra layers of padding and blast plates, granting a bonus point of armor and 66% less damage from explosive attacks. Tempting, or we've got Shredder. Your attacks can shred armor. So I prefer the idea of removing the advantage from the enemy. And then finally, let's see what Turner... It is going to be hilarious if Turner turns into a sharpshooter. He is a ranger. Squatty Lewis Turner, ranger with the slash. Alright, an Illyrium core. These small, self-contained samples of Illyrium are used to power aliens' beam weapons. We could use them to power a variety of advanced weapons, armors, and munitions. Advanced hair trigger. When firing, the soldier has a 10% chance that the shot will not cost an action for the active turn. And alien data cache. These mysterious storage devices, carried only by aliens, contain a wealth of intel about a large variety of enemy plans. They are extremely high value, and their security measures will be commensurately more time-consuming to crack. We also gain 2 sectoid corpses, an Advent trooper corpse, and 2 sectoid corpses, 3 trooper corpses, and 2 Advent officers. I do too. Alright, research unlocked. Alien data cache decryption. Having recently discovered an alien data cache storing valuable enemy intelligence, I can dedicate my team's resources to decrypting the files and ensuring that we recover the large amount of intel stored within.
Now that we've got some help, we can start clearing out the old equipment and debris from the ship to make room for new facilities.
But doesn't saving... don't you need to enable a special mode to get the draw again on the... I do say, the rule that I kind of gave for myself on this was that I would definitely be willing to reload, mostly just because the idea of spending so much time on that, obviously, I was pretty far in that save that I showed at the beginning, and the idea of just kind of starting over again doesn't really strike me as that fun. I mean, I like XCOM a lot. I don't mind playing this for a long time, but you know, I suspect people would like a definite end to the XCOM series on the stream. So I do, effectively what it does is, like, because I'll be able to reload, it kind of ensures that every mission will ultimately be a win. But of course, if I wind up achieving that win, losing a very valuable squad member, I'm going to have to offset the idea that I'm going to make less progress in the game in an evening against how much I valued that squad member. So it doesn't completely remove the risk, but it's definitely something that, like, it's the sort of thing that a hardcore player would just, you know, shame me for, which...
Commander, having these two soldiers continue to work together has paid off. They know each other well enough at this point that we can have them train as a pair for additional tactical capabilities.
Sorry, the British and French soldier are bonded. This is science fiction. Commander, these soldiers have reached a new level of tactical compatibility and are eligible to be bonded. Level 1 bonds can be formed immediately, but all future bonded levels are attained by staffing bonded soldier pairs in the training center. Alright, benefits teamwork. Grants an additional action point to bondmate. Has a single charge shared between bondmates.
Commander, the media is a powerful tool. Just ask Advent's propaganda machine. I say it's time we turn it against them. By spreading the word of our soldiers' exploits in combat, we can bolster morale throughout the Resistance.
I mean, especially with the cigarette, I really couldn't improve on this. Right.
To clear out these rooms, first we'll need to assign an engineer to the task. Once we start getting into the far reaches of the ship, it's going to take more time and manpower to make space for new facilities. Looks good to me. Just give the word and we'll get started, Commander.
Former Finance Minister Paul Martin is beginning excavation.
Excavation is underway, Commander, but it's going to take some time to get all that stuff cleared out.
Commander, we have a secure transmission coming through. Source unknown. Patching it through to your quarters.
I bet this guy's got a cool voice.
Hello, Commander. The council you once knew is no more. Its membership have all sworn loyalty to the Advent administration. With one exception. It is good to see you again. In the days since your capture, I have done all I can to aid the Resistance from the inside. It was these Resistance operatives that provided the intel leading to your recent extraction. As of now, Resistance forces are currently somewhat disorganized. If we are to defeat Advent and their alien masters, you must change this before it is too late. What you are seeing are classified reports of missing civilians from across the world. Their numbers are growing. We suspect they have been taken to a nearby Advent black site, though its exact location remains unknown. Time is short, Commander. We need you to take charge of Resistance operations throughout the world. Establish contact with the local cells and bring them into the fold. Find this black site and shut it down. Save our world. The clock is ticking. Good luck, Commander.
Looks like we better get started, Commander. I'll be on the bridge when you're ready. The Councilman has tracked the alien black site to this region. Unfortunately, we don't have its exact coordinates yet. If we're going to have any chance of finding this facility, we'll need to make contact with the local Resistance cell nearby. Tygan has a theory about how we might reach out to them without getting the aliens' attention, but we'll need to give him time to conduct his research. We shouldn't wait too long on that, Commander. We have to start making contact with other regions soon if we're going to build a global resistance and take on Advent.
New objective added.
Make contact with the local resistance in the Black Site region in order to gain access to the Advent facility. Research resistance communications, fly to the Black Site region, and make contact.
Looks like you won't have time for that just yet, though. Remote reconnaissance may have found something not far from our current position.
Rumor from the Resistance. Disabled truck. Commander, after our recent success, members of the Resistance in New Arctic have brought us reports of activity that we may want to investigate. 6 days to find supplies.
Avenger plotting new course.
Commander, while we're waiting for new missions or the completion of our research, we can pass time by scanning at sites like this one. On your order, we'll start our scans of the surrounding area.
Another important step forward in our research.
All right, weapon upgrades available. Assign new research. We've had the troops digging through scrap piles and looting corpses, and at this point it's safe to assume they're on constant vigil for anything we could use to improve our gear. All the raw materials in the world won't mean much if I can't find a use for them, but I think this modular weapon system is a good start. Having pushed our existing designs about as far as I thought possible, the integration of a few key alien components provided the much-needed stability we've been looking for. With these modifications in place, we should be able to attach larger upgrades for even more firepower. The troops will like that. Elshen. Commander, researching the Advent modular weapons has allowed us to reverse engineer their system for our own use. Any weapon upgrades found in the field can now be attached directly to our soldiers' weapons to provide tactical bonuses.
Commander, during the course of our research, we made a startling breakthrough that has led us to another potential avenue of study. However, if we are to proceed down this path, we must do so immediately, or I fear we will lose our opportunity to return to it in the future.
Damn! Alright, improved conventional weapons. Commander, we have made an astounding breakthrough. We must begin researching improved conventional weapons immediately, otherwise the opportunity will be lost. So that'll take me 5 days. But, I mean, eventually we're going to take the magnetic weapons, right? So I don't know if it's really worth delaying resistance communications. We know there are isolated pockets of resistance around the world just waiting for someone to reach out and organize them. To unite the resistance and forge a global movement, we'll need a means of communicating that is both secure and discreet.
I'll see that work begins immediately, Commander. I'll contact you when I have a full report available. Working within the tight constraints of the Avenger, I've had a difficult time finding room to conduct some of our more theoretical experiments. Perhaps the next time we sit down.
Alien debris cleared. Alien debris cleared. A new room is available for constructing a facility. Loot recovered. 28 supplies. So I am slightly concerned about rushing into bad choices.
There's room for us to expand our facilities on board the Avenger, Commander, but we'll need more engineers to clear out space for construction first.
Let's go... Yeah, I'd say guerrilla tactics, if I recall, is what gives us access to more troop slots. Whatever would I do without you to tell me how to play the game, Tiberiosity? You know I love that.
We'll start work on the new facility right away, Commander. I'll send word when it's up and running.
There's currently an unstaffed engineer who can assist in the building of the Guerrilla Tactics School. Would you like to assign them there? No. Oh, that makes it okay, does it?
Located.
An illegally operating transport truck drove down in the wastes, and upon seeing the Avenger moving in, the driver ran for cover. However, he quickly returned as our squad approached and asked for help with repairs. After our engineers got the vehicle running again, the driver handed over a few supplies in appreciation. Rumor from the Resistance: intact structures. Commander, after our recent success, members of the Resistance in New Arctic have brought us reports of activity that we may want to investigate.
Avenger plotting new course.
You are too trusting, John. The skirmishers are Advent. Advent is the enemy. The enemy is food.
Try not to bring that up when we meet, Volk.
You take their side after all we've seen these years.
Look, I'm not exactly having drinks with them, but they did hold up their end of the bargain. What about you?
Wait and see. Volk out.
Actually think they might show up. Commander, that was Konstantin Volokov, Volk to his friends. He and his Reapers are a big part of the reason why you're standing here today. Volk may be a little rough around the edges, but he's the real deal. Heads one of 3 resistance groups operating independently from us that we consider a legitimate threat to Advent. Together, they'd make one hell of a fighting force. Too bad they hate each other. Still, we've made some unlikely progress. Volk's Reapers may have found you, but they weren't acting alone. They were tipped off by a group of Advent defectors known as the Skirmishers. No one's big on working with these guys, knowing where they came from. But you wouldn't be here without their help. Both the Reapers and the Skirmishers have agreed to suspend hostilities provided you serve as the go-between. Trust doesn't come easy between these two, so we're heading for a nice quiet spot on neutral ground. Even so, let's not take any chances. Intel on this area is weak, and we're picking up strange chatter on comms. Not to mention we're ending a decade-long blood feud today. I'd advise our soldiers to be fully prepared before we deploy on this one, Commander. Good luck.
This is a really terrible
Some of my
time.
people could use a hand in the field. Shouldn't be anything too tough.
This is a really terrible time to get this mission. Commander, we need to work as an intermediary between 2 resistance factions. One of the things I do find kind of fun on this one is, in retrospect, given the way that Phoenix Point handled this, it is kind of interesting to see War of the Chosen's factions and the way that Phoenix Point handled factions. Because, like, as far as I can tell, there does seem to be a way you can sort of keep this kind of balance between the different factions inside of Phoenix Point, but there's very clearly opportunities for you to, like, actively attack one of the other ones. And maybe, you know, you just ideologically don't agree with one of them. Whereas this one, you know, this game's a little lighter on that, and it's not so much an effort to try and draw a contrast to try and say one is better than the other. But it's really interesting just to sort of see 2 games with sort of this common ancestor, and just the 2 very different directions they wound up going with it.
Not sure how long our contacts are going to wait for us, Commander, so I'd recommend we proceed as soon as possible. All available soldiers are standing by to deploy.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to do Lost and Abandoned and still have time to make a soldier for the stream. Operation Lost and Abandoned, objective, rendezvous with the Reapers, reward Dr. Joan McKenzie, scientist, and 92 intel. I like the idea of Joan McKenzie introducing herself that way.
For the Arctic.
Each faction has agreed to allow a 2-person squad to escort them to the rendezvous point. Hopefully that should be enough to keep them from killing each other. We've got a temporary ceasefire in place for the duration of the meet, but still, that doesn't mean we shouldn't be ready for anything.
There is an interesting question as to whether or not these are the 2 that I want to bring. Unfortunately, the bound soldier is tired. Yeah, we'll do our best here. Like the monocle.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Squad green to deploy.
The Reapers and Skirmishers have been at each other's throats for years, so we're keeping the exact meeting point strictly need to know. You'll split into 2 squads, rendezvous with each faction, and bring their envoy directly to the location of the meet. Officially, this city no longer exists, so we don't expect a lot in the way of Advent resistance. Still, keep your eyes peeled. It's been about 20 years since we last stepped foot in this place.
Escort the Reaper envoy to the rendezvous. Location ruins of Beijing. The little-known suburb of Moscow.
Proceed to the first set of coordinates. Firebrand and the second team will head to the next drop point.
Detecting increasing biological signatures in the area ahead.
Then I'd say we're in the right place. Stay sharp out there today, people. Just because this city was abandoned doesn't mean it's lifeless.
Actually, in retrospect, bringing the heavy is a bad idea.
If you are hungry, there's more where that came from. Impressive reflexes, but unnecessary.
Stand down. We're all friends here.
You are safe here. More so than you imagine. We shall see if the same holds true for these skirmishers of yours. Your presence already disturbs them. We must move quickly. My people will take care of this camp. Come.
Uploading the coordinates to the rendezvous point now. We've plotted the most direct route there. We don't know much about the skirmisher contact you'll be meeting other than his name. Mox.
Mox! Praetor Mox! His death squads wiped out entire camps of my people in the first years of the war. You would dare do this?
Pretty sure hands are bloody on both sides of this fight. That's the whole point of this intervention.
Reapers are born in the shadows, in the cold, harsh world that was waiting for us out there. We rely on stealth and long-range attacks, and our marksmen are unmatched by even the best XCOM has to offer.
Reapers use an advanced form of concealment called Shadow, which only has a chance of breaking after taking actions. Consecutive actions increase the chance of being revealed, while in Shadow, Reapers have increased mobility, and their enemies have a smaller detection radii. Or radii. So I guess that makes sense to have her as the scout.
I'm on the move.
Damaged and dormant all these years, these devices still emit trace elements of unstable radiation. I cannot fathom what they were like in their original function.
We were there, Doctor. You're better off having missed it.
I am at your service.
Affirmative.
No more time for regrets. We are not alone.
Those things, they still look like people.
What was human died years ago. Only the taint of the aliens survives now. Where there is one, more will follow. You must not hesitate to destroy them.
These creatures' DNA has mutated well beyond what we would classify as human. Perhaps the result of long-term exposure to the alien radiation from those pods. Though why anyone would subject themselves to that, I cannot imagine.
When the governments fell, millions starved. Many fled to cities such as this to scavenge for food. They did not heed the warnings.
I'm on the move.
So obviously, it would have been nicer to, well, let's see what we can do here.
These creatures' true strength lies in their numbers. As you can see, they fall easily. If we are careful with our shots, we will prevail.
This is one of the things that I absolutely love about the introduction of the Lost, and this is the idea of the headshot chaining, which unfortunately it, can I go back? Okay. When an XCOM unit kills a Lost unit with a standard attack, that unit receives an additional action point. By carefully selecting targets, a soldier can kill several Lost and still move normally. If the shot taken misses or fails to kill the lost target, the soldier will not receive an additional action. Special attacks, such as grenades, do not grant actions when killing the Lost. So, of course, the idea here was to go for the highest probabilities.
Kill confirmed. Got him.
Now at this point I don't have a clear action, so the best thing I can do is try and scare up some more Lost.
I go where you tell me.
Okay. In this case, a reload makes the most sense.
I'm ready.
Now, the big question here is whether or not I can get a shot off on the Lost. Oops, didn't mean to do that.
Roger that.
All right, I mean, I'll take it. Now the question is whether or not I really want to reload. I think it makes... And then the real dilemma here is whether or not I want to blow the stealth potentially. I figure taking out the enemy is probably better. Alright, I'll take it. And...
My life is in your hands.
Probably not the smartest move to split the squad like this, but I also am imagining the higher levels are not too scary. Interesting.
My people have encountered these beings before. At first, they may appear mindless, but they hear quite well. In great numbers, they can be very deadly.
So I kind of feel like the option here...
Heading to that location.
The biggest problem I have is I do not know how quickly these things move.
even close.
Okay.
Gonna need to reload soon.
So yeah, this is the thing I was a bit worried about.
Moving to position. Get it together.
Right. I don't see... Yeah, so the big problem I've got here is that I only have 2 more shots. So the best I can do here is try and cover my...
As you order, Commander.
My squad mate.
The only fate possible for aliens. We are known to them. I need more ammunition. Remember, they are not victims. My ammo is gone. Loading fresh ammo.
So this could get ugly.
An entire city of our own people left to turn into these things.
Yes. All we can offer them now is a merciful death.
So I don't exactly have a whole lot of options in terms of targets, so the smart thing here would be just to take a shot.
Hostile neutralized. Good to go.
Take the
Ammo out.
opportunity to reload.
It's down. Taken care of.
Okay, so
Toss
this
me some ammo.
seems to have gotten me some options with... Ugh. Okay, I'm not really sure how I feel about this, but...
On the move. Moving out.
These creatures are worse even than Advent. They have no cause, no fear. They simply exist. If we do not defeat the aliens soon, we will become little more than they are.
Reloaded. Weapons empty. Can't engage. Hostiles pacified.
I go where I am needed.
Extraction point is close, but looks like these things don't want to make it easy for you.
We will make it to your pet Advent in time.
Right then. I don't think I'm risking too much by moving up like
Moving to
this.
designated position.
I also don't think there's a realistic chance of me shooting these things. Also, Overwatch seems kind of lame.
Already there.
So obviously this is a big risk because I don't know the travel distance.
We we risk all this for pray tell Marks? If he is not what you say he is, I shall kill him myself.
Looking forward to this meeting already. Hostile neutralized. Target eliminated. My ammo's running low. Target
Biological
neutralized.
readings in your general area are clear. No more creatures on approach.
For now.
Then let's not linger here. Head to the evac coordinates now. I'm all over it.
I'll be swift.
Central. Biological signatures are grouping into a singular mass. One closing in on this position.
A swarm. We must push forward before it arrives. I see everything.
On my way. You should have a clear path through now. Second squad is already en route to Mox. Proceed to the rendezvous and await their arrival.
Oh, we'll be there.
This next one's going to be fun. I guess the one thing that's nice is that the team with the heavy weapon will have...
Looks like trouble ahead. The rendezvous could be compromised. Stay focused. Contact! Get down! We may have a bigger problem here.
Hey, Stellar Jockeys. Just the vanilla game. I actually never finished XCOM 2 or the...
I'm guessing that's our man. Well,
or War of the Chosen.
Anyway.
Crocksod. Advent. Hobbit. Vox Tola. 410. They were sent here to hunt. To purge the Drop 10. The Lost. Our meeting point is still secure. She is free of the imposter gods. I would give anything that all my kind could say the same. Even sit down with your Reapers. Now, we must go.
Rendezvous with Outrider is further ahead. Proceed through this district as quickly as possible, but be careful. Something tells me this city still has a few more surprises to throw our way.
Surprises are the least of our worries today. It is these Reapers of yours that are of true concern.
We, the Skirmishers, were created by the false gods of this world to serve and die as their puppets. We retain all that we were and more, and our prowess in battle serves us well in our cause. In close combat, none can stand opposed to us.
So I guess if I was going to have the heavy weapon attached to the team, getting the skirmisher with the bullpup seems like a reasonable backup. So I did still want to try and do a character creation, so I'm actually going to cut this mission into 2 parts, and then we'll start it on Wednesday. I did just want to take a quick minute here. Actually, you know, the funny thing, Stellar Jockeys, I actually think the first voice performance I ever heard him give, I still have not seen Star Trek. Well, sorry, that's not true. I've seen a couple of the motion pictures, so I believe I've seen him as Worf. But I believe actually the very first thing I ever heard him in was Gabriel Knight, which I don't know if that's most people's first exposure. I did just want to take a quick second here. I talked about a game developer that visited earlier, and if I'm not mistaken, Stellar Jockeys is the same Stellar Jockeys behind Brigador, which is a very good mech game, and also a audiobook. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a sequel. Ah, hello! And yeah, I've heard rumors of a sequel, but I don't know enough. 2 books and audiobooks, my apologies. But yes, in any case, for those of you that have not checked out Brigador, 1, I had a great time with it. And number 2, there we go. Ah, excellent. Gives me something to look forward to. All right, anyways, but like I said, I will be dividing this into 2 parts, and we'll do the second half on Wednesday. Fair. All right, I'll just read this out, though. So the skirmisher can fire their bullpup and move in any order on their turn, or they can even shoot twice on their turn if desired. The grapple adds to their versatility, allowing the skirmisher to quickly traverse the battlefield and get into advantageous positions. And actually, the funny thing is, I was talking about how I was making the comparison to Phoenix Point, and I'm thinking more and more about how the skirmishers are like, God, I'm trying to remember. There's New Jericho, Sanhedrian, and the third faction, who I can't remember, the Gaians. At an early morning. Yes, for those of you who just came in, I do apologize for seeming to cut this quickly. I did say when this came up that this was a really terrible time for this information to come in. What started as a simple question, what if you could get out of your mech ballooned into an inventory management, dialogue, vehicle customization, vehicle construction, and base management game? As one does. I am very intrigued. So yeah, like I said, I quite literally just heard of the existence. I've not looked up anything on it. So you've done your due diligence marketing wise. I'm now intrigued enough to look this up. But character pool time. Who do we have here? Oh yes, and of course we have Vanguard Master as well. So maybe the first thing that I can ask, I know we had Revive Snow in chat. I don't think is here now. And then I also know that Algrin's had a name. So I do want to try and, where I can, I do want to try and put some names in. So maybe what I can do for the start, can I just get some names in chat for people who would like characters? Because at the very least, what I can do, if there isn't somebody in the chat who... if there's someone isn't in the chat at the time that I'm... sorry. If there isn't somebody in the chat who doesn't have a character, I can at least default to making a new one. So, okay, so Vanguard wants one. Also, Vanguard, this is now 2 game developers that you've met in this chat tonight. So, I believe, Stellar Jockeys, you've streamed at some point before, but I don't know if you stream your development or not. But I will say for you, Vanguard, K-Money, in addition to doing his fun streaming, he's specifically studying the combat design for Hades 2. So I think that's one that you would get a lot out of. Excellent. Well, I'm sure that'll probably help with Killers as well. And then I think Tiberiosity wanted one as well. So we've got... and Tiberiosity, Rock Snow, Algrins. All right, Vanguard Master. I think you're the only one that actually raised your hand in chat. So, give me... Sorry, you're a milady. Can't change that. Oh, not quite what I intended. How about give me some adjectives. Give me a theme. Give me an idea to work with. But I'm gonna take creative license. Okay, so you have to have the aviators. Fair enough. Do you want... I can give the nickname Vanguard Master. That's not a problem. Alright, Vanguard it is. So last name's definitely Masters. Would you like Marshall as your first name? Get the alliteration going? I know you're Canadian. You are a monsieur. Now you sure as hell aren't American.
Dashing. Beat feet. Double time. Beat feet.
I have no idea what this is.
Got it covered.
I was expecting some kind of like Russian accent in here, but no luck there. Yeah, I can work with
Double
that.
time. Got it covered. Double time. I'm all over it. Rolling out. Got it. Will do. Location confirmed. Affirmative. 10-4. On it. Move, move, move! Got it covered. Double time. Will do. I'm all over it. Rolling out. Double time. Solid cap. Running. Affirmative. Double time. Already there. No need to ask twice.
Nope. I mean, it's not really going to matter because the aviators are on, but... What else did you have? Rough around the edges. Okay. C. I don't even know what part you were looking for on C, but... Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't get a first name for you. Where's the... There we go, the traditional XCOM. Oop. We need to go for generic video game character. Alright, so... But... We also need to make sure that we've got, oh, no facial hair? No, here we go. I was definitely going to go for some kind of unshaven, but doesn't exactly have subtle options. Oh, I'm working from a base here. All right, so we needed to make sure the upper face prop are aviators. I missed the chances for the hippie glasses though, or the hippie sunglasses. Oh, okay, actually, no, I know exactly. There we go. The Kaiser! Baseball, okay. You don't want your fedora? I mean, you didn't want aviators. Some of these are a little too They're a little much for the... Oh, yeah, you know what? We can do... Alright. We've got the start here. Shouldn't there be, Yes. I guess we should probably decide the armor before we go too much further. Alright, what did you give me to work with for? Rough around the edges, seen some stuff, tired of everyone's shit. I mean, are we talking about no longer wishes to be in this world? Tired of people's shit? This is the, I'm not sure. Wait, you're not talking about Apocalypse Now, are you? Alright, I guess there's no point in doing the tattoos or anything, just because we've got, you're already covered in armor. So I guess the last question would be colors. I mean, it already kind of suits the hat, so we'll make you very generic. Trying to think what grizzled veteran looks like for I guess technically we're based in the tundra, so you like black and red, but you can do generic XCOM tan. There's your red right there. I don't know. I've already committed you to the camo paint and the hat, so I think I'm gonna stick with this. Are you? Will you accept this this travesty? It's normally I like to get a little bit more creative with the characters, but I figured you gave me a commission, and all right, excellent. You are still named Lena, though. Do you have a first name that you wanted? I don't think I saw anything in the or was the C? You just have an initial for your first name. A it is. AC. All right. You can now appear in the game. So yes, anybody, this is it for the stream for those of you that haven't figured it out yet. So yeah, what I'll try and do for the next little while, maybe where I can, priority to the people who are present to express their wishes. But what I've got on the list right now, we've got Tiberiosity, Revived Snow, and Algrins, I think, previously expressed a wish to appear as characters. And I'm happy to accommodate further points. And then I'll also, because we're still technically in some of the tutorial stuff, I'm hoping that I can... Oh, love to try as soon as I can. If you end up making you brown hair, cigar, and a big nose. All right. And a devil-may-care attitude. Yeah, actually, see, the thing I love about this, too, is that I always know there's enough gaps in what I do, or in what the requests have, that I can have some real fun with these. So thank you, Stellar Jockeys. I will definitely add it. I've written down the notes. Actually, it's really helpful to me for people who want characters that I have some notes down. But what I'll try and do is I'll try and do them at the ends of the broadcast rather than the starts, unless people need some time to warm up. Let's find who is online tonight for hosting. We have got Kilgore Trout online with Tron 2.0. I have absolutely no idea what that is. Hey, Cree! Would it be fair to say that you would like a character as well? And actually, sorry, Vanguard, I just saw your question. I don't know. It's actually a very, very busy time for me, so I will do my best. No problem, Seljack. Thanks for hanging out. I'll do my best. Let's catch up in Discord, but I may have to say no this time around just because... Well, I don't know if you know how late I started on Friday, but like it's a... not only is it like a demanding time, but like I have got a major crunch period coming up. And so I am probably going to be working for free for a little while. But bring it up. I will do my best and we'll see how we can fit it. And I'm terribly sorry, Takri. I'm hoping I can catch you on time next time. Thank you everybody for hanging out. I realize I didn't make a whole lot of progress in XCOM 2, but I love this game. So I'm really looking forward to taking care of the Lost right at the start of next stream, and then we can make some real progress on the game. Yeah, enjoy Kilgore. I have no idea what Tron 2.0 is, so we'll find out together. Have a good evening.